welcome to the channel. This is Red Reaper Customs. This is going to be my motorcycle channel. So it's going to have all kinds of motorcycle related stuff, from build videos, which is what this is going to be here in a minute, to CVMA events, really anything I could think of with motorcycle stuff. This video is going to be a little weird. It's not as instructional as it could be. When I made all these little edits to these videos, or when I recorded them in the first place, I had no intention of putting them anywhere. So they're just kind of like vlog style, sort of, just in the garage. Sound quality's bad, video quality's worse. It's a whole thing. So don't judge too harshly on this one. That said, from here on out, I'm going to be trying to make it a little bit more sort of instructional. I am by no means trained on any of this stuff, so take it with a grain of salt. Look up other videos. That's what I'm doing for 99% of this. So the thing we're about to go into is the CB750 Project chopper thing that I bought a little bit ago. I'm going to try and post some pictures of it here, and then maybe some other ones over here to kind of show what it's at now. So this one's the old one. This is where it's at currently, sort of, maybe, if I'm figuring out how to do editing correctly. And then ideally, down here at the bottom, I'll confuse myself. Actually, I'll go back this way. I'll confuse myself. I'm putting up examples of kind of what I want it to look like in the end. The thing is Project Loki, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first time doing this. So what we're doing now is we're going to start some actual earnest work on this little guy, the CB750 that I bought from 1978. So right now, I've got some things that I need to work on. So I'm looking down here at the engine. There's some wiring that needs to be taken care of, some actual engine work that needs to be taken care of. I'm going to have to figure out how the heck I'm supposed to tune those little guys. And then going through and fixing things like this. As you can see from all these little spacers in here, the previous constructor, builder, whatever you want to call it, had a little bit of extra stuff. So as part of all that extra stuff, I also have all of this. All these components that I got to figure out what I'm keeping, what I'm pitching, and what I'm actually going to use on the bike itself. So my most recent thing that came in is a new, before you had the regulator rectifier and the regulator. And I'm trying to replace all of that with this little guy, which is supposedly a regulator rectifier. We'll see, because I got to figure out how to rewire it and do all that kind of stuff, to include figuring out where all these wires that are coming out of the engine block, where they all go, and how to get all that stuff redone. So I'll take more pictures, videos, and whatnot as I'm finishing this process, but that's where we're at so far. Quick editor's note here. If that guy says, past me, says anything that's the wrong part or the wrong component, cut him some slack. He had no idea what any of that stuff was. Me no gooder now, but that guy didn't know a whole lot about what he was looking at. So just ignore that for the time being. He learns, I promise. All right, here we go. It's day 2, I guess, of actually working on this thing. So yesterday, just a quick update on some stuff that we got done. Went through down here and redid a bunch of the wiring. So I got this cleaned up now. So instead of having like 19 little shitty cables, I've got just like the one big one and then a ground going over there. This all is going to get cleaned up and actually put inside of this little guy, which is the power box that I plan on using. So I'm going to get to that here in a little bit. I've got the battery sort of wired up because I'm going to be doing some test runs and test firing some stuff. But while I was digging around yesterday, I found out something else. Found out that whoever had this thing last decided just to yank the starter straight out. So they didn't cut it, they didn't just do anything. It just looks like it got basically shredded and pulled out of itself. So I'm doing a starter rebuild, sort of. I'm going to go in, clean the contacts, clean up the little feeder paws and all that kind of stuff. The starter works. I did connect it to power yesterday, and it spins just fine. So today's going to be hooking it up to the starter solenoid and then rewiring it so I actually have a way to connect it to the bike itself. So ideally, with the demo battery today, by the end of the day, I'll have the starter able to go, and I'll be able to hook up the starter solenoid and get all of that to work so that I can actually get the bike to turn over using the starter. It still works with the kicker. So that's where I'm at currently. And then I'm going to be going through, I got to figure out how I'm dealing with the oil tank and all these little connectors, because right now it's got this little guy that was a part that came with it. It's a nice steel braided line with a little rubber insert, but I don't have a way to connect it to the bike yet because it uses this weird little proprietary bracket that has to hook to the actual engine block over down here on the bottom. So right now it's plugged up with this little guy. So that's where I'm at currently. I'm going to keep working on wiring and stuff like that and cleaning stuff up, but it's a lot better than it was, so that's where I'm at. All right. It is another day, and I'm back in the garage working on this thing. So, last bit of progress I was making involved the electronics box. So, we're making some progress here. The goal for today, I would like to get most of this wiring all finished up. This should be most of it. So we got the starter solenoid here, runs down across up to this little guy, which is going to be my starter. I'm planning on having one of these, probably this one, be just like a battery cutoff type thing, and then this one's going to actually serve as my ignition. At least that's how it works in my head. I want to more permanently mount the regulator rectifier in there, because right now it's just kind of sitting there, so I need to mount it. Connect this up to this, whatchamacallit, fuse. This fuse line is going to get connected directly to the battery. And then from there, I think that's all of my wiring, I hope. I do need to go get more of the little ring post connector guys that are smaller because these aren't working. And I really want to get rid of all of these kind of things where it's just ghetto wiring. I want to get rid of all that. After I finish up that, I'm going to take the coils over to the guru that I know, Jimmy, and see if he can tell me either can those be rebuilt or am I screwed and am I going to have to spend a couple $100 or whatever it is to get a new coil pack. Hopefully I can just rebuild it or fix it or whatever, but we'll see. And then while I'm also there, I'm also going to ask him some questions about these. So tuning them I'll get to later. For right now, I just need to get them plumbed. So the problem that I've got is I need to figure out where all the fuel lines go. And the pictures aren't great because these things are kind of an all over the place mess. So what I think it is fuel comes down from up here. The fuel routing diagrams that I have seen comes out, can't really see it, but comes out here for the fuel line. Fuel line comes up, connects to this little fitting here in a T-bar type thing. So one of them goes up here, and then the other one goes across over to this little guy, and that should be the other two. So I think that fuel travels to two at a time, basically through those little T's or plugs. That's what the internet seems to be saying. We'll see if it's lying to me or not. And then all of these little nipples here on the bottom, those I think are the overflow, maybe. So I think that's what it is, but I just need to verify. So I want to get it route it up and see if I can get the lines connected, because right now these I think are just my vacuum lines and I haven't really done much with those, and then those seem to be connected, I can't see it from here, in between with these little things. So I don't know, we'll see, but that's the plan for right now. So electrical crap and then fuel crap, good combo, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, I'm going to do a quick video pre-meltdown to see what happens with this. So I've got the box all wired up, and it looks like it's wired correctly. So I've got two switches. So this switch back here, this one is going to be my accessories / battery connection. This one's going to be my ignition, as in like if you turned the key to the on position, that's what this one is. There's obviously my starter. And then when you look in here, here's kind of where we're looking for all of our electronics. So in here we got all of our buttons. got our full coil, or our, not coil, the ones that come out of the stator / the motor. I've got all my grounds. I've got my regulator rectifier in there. It's kind of hard to see what I'm doing, but and then I've got here, this is the one that goes to the starter, and then directly underneath that is the one that goes to the power. So I'm about to wire up my battery to it. So I might be taking pictures of a fully melted pile of slag here in a minute. But we'll find out. Here goes nothing. All right. Little silly cliffhanger there. Mainly because I'm trying to keep these videos under an hour, which if I added up all this footage, maybe that's where it gets to. So we'll see. Thanks for joining me for this one. Next one's going to be coming out in minutes once I do some editing and stuff. So if you're new here, which everybody will be, like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time.